Bonjour.
Hello.
Guys.
Bonjour.
Hello.
So good morning again. So last day of the RPCE. So thank you so much for being here with us again. So this morning we'll start with a great panel, a discussion with Sophie Dupuis on directing actors and how you proceed like from writing to shooting. So thank you, Sophie, for being here with us. We're really happy that you accepted our invitation.
I'm happy to.
And also on the jury, so she saw all of your film.
Yeah, and congrats for them. It was really beautiful to see that. Thank you for your movies.
And just so you know, we'll do like a little bio from her. So after a number of well-received shorts, Sophie Dupuis released her first feature, Chien de Garde, selected as a Canadian entry to the 2018 Oscar. And her second feature, Souterrain, was supposed to open FNC, but you know everything will happen. But soon enough, we'll see that movie in theater, and it will be awesome. So thank you so much, Sophie, for joining us.
Ben, thanks to you for being there this morning. I'm hoping that you have fun this week with the festival and that you're learning a lot of stuff. So let's start. Directing actors, I think for me it really starts when you're starting to write your script, your movie. So I think for me, like a film is telling a story, yeah, but it's the characters who are living that story, who are reacting to the events, and who are making that story. So my first step for me is creating the characters in my mind. And I think it's really important to have like coherent characters who are really like, they have like a rich psychology and a rich personality. And from there, you have an idea, you have the story, but from your characters, sometimes the story can change. And I think they are the reason why the story is going as it goes. And so that's where you're starting to direct your actors, because if you're giving them characters that are kind of, you know, don't have a big personality or don't have a well written psychology, they will have like nothing to work with. And if their action are not logical to that psychology you create, they will not understand why their character are doing that stuff you're asking them to do, and it will not be natural for them. And I think that actors have to really understand their character and their logic to make it work. So if your priority is to tell like an original story and unpredictable, but it doesn't work with your characters, it will not work for the actors, and it will not be like easy for them to play. So I think the really first stage, the first step is when you're writing those characters. And afterwards it's casting. So for me it's really important to be open to all the possibilities. I don't write a film with someone in mind. It's okay to do, but for me it's really important to be like open. And I don't know if you saw my first feature, which is Family First or Chien de Garde. the crazy brother who was played by Théodore Pellerin, that wasn't the physicality I was looking for at all. And when I met Théodore, it was just like, he's the one for that character, but he's not looking at all like what I was looking for, and that's not important. The important is to have the right actor to play a part. So I'm really open to everything, and I see a lot of person. And the important thing for me in casting is to give them stuff to prepared to get prepared for the audition. And so I give them the script. Sometimes producer don't like to give the script to everybody, but for me it's really important to do it, because the actors are going to get the character, the relationship with the other characters, and what's the film about. So and you're going to be able to talk with them and get their vision of your story. So the script I give them, this like 2 or 3 scenes we're doing in the audition. So and I give them my intention. So I give them a lot of documents to prepare. So my intentions, why I want to do that movie, what is it talking about really, and I give them a big description, a character description, not like 3 scenes about the energy or the physicality of their character, but their personality, their psychology. Sometimes I give them like 1 or 2 pages of character description. And I give them, I write like, for every scene, I start to direct them by, with the document I wrote. So what's the emotion of the character at this point? Where is he? What we want in that scene? What the scene is about? So they have a lot of things to get prepared. So when they come, and if you're generous like that with them, they feel like they're respected in their work, and they'll be generous back with you. And they sometimes like they will see that you're respecting them in their work, and they will be like, they will want to work with you, because they'll see that it's give like
collaboration.
Yeah. So and I take a lot of time with them. It's minimum 45 minutes each person for me. So sometimes you have like, it's long days of 8 person each days, and sometimes it's weeks and months of casting. And for me, it's a lot of energy, but it's the minimum for me. So
It too, like,
huh?
and it's worth it, like, so.
Yeah, a lot. And yeah, and so we have the time to work the scenes. So they do the scenes and we talk about it, but we have the time to just talk together before starting to work, make them comfortable, because actors are really, really stressed when they're doing auditions. So because of all the documents I give them before, they get prepared, so they're less stressed. And after, we're talking and laughing together before starting to work, and so they're less stressed. And more and more you have an actor who's comfortable, more you will see his real work, because a stressed actor is not giving you everything he can.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's important. I don't have like a table, and we don't seat everybody like at a table and saying blah blah blah, do this. I'm up with them, and I'm in movement in the room with them, and I'm sitting on a chair when they're playing. But sometimes if they're playing a scene like on the floor, I'm on the floor with them. So we're working all together. It's not like I'm the boss and you're doing what I want. It's so that's, I know that people like that. And yeah, when I'm in casting, the important for me is not to have like the perfect performance of the character that I want. It's really to see if we can have a discussion together, me and that actor. If I'm asking him or her question about the movie, about what he or her what she read, and we discuss the character, we discuss the movie at all, and if I see that we're speaking the same language, we want to say the same thing with that movie, if we have the same vision of that character, I will be like more interested. And after, if the acting is kind of good, if the person is responding well to my direction, if the person is doing a scene and after we talk like 5 minutes about it and I change the actor emotion, and I see that the next time he do it, it's the same thing. That's not interesting for me, because I need an actor who can like play with my direction and change thing and propose thing. And so that's what I'm looking for when I'm in casting. I don't want to see the character that I have in my mind, because I think it's impossible to have that when you're in casting, because we didn't even start to work together. So the important is if we can have a discussion and if we're talking the same language. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and after, so I want to start with my main characters in casting, and if it's possible to confirm them and use them to give the, like in audition for the other characters.
To give like
La réplique, là?
Yeah. To give like the lines and everything. So
yeah, play with the person who is in audition for the other characters. It's really helpful, because
you see the connections and like what.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see if they have a real chemistry. So for my last movie that nobody saw because it's not out yet, I had the chance to confirm my main actor, and he was there. Like, he saw every girl I saw for the girlfriend of his role, and it was really interesting because there was a girl that I was interested in, but they has no chemistry. Okay. So it helped my choice, because that real chemistry, they can play chemistry, yeah, but it will never be as good as a real chemistry in real life. So that's if you can do that with your actors, that's really good. And sometimes they like to do that because they're taking part in the decisions. They're not deciding with me, but they're kind of helping me with my decision. And we start to work from there, because we're talking about the character when we're playing and when we're auditioning. So they start their work with you already. So sometimes they like it to do that, the actors. So after you have your cast, next step for me, really important, is rehearsal. And I do a lot of rehearsal. Sometimes producers don't want to pay for that because it's money, but my producer, he know that it help so much that he find it like less for him it's saving money to pay for my rehearsal, because
like it will be easier to shoot with like 12 takes or...
it's not a waste of time. We're gaining times because we're preparing before the shooting. So a lot of rehearsal. It's at least for me 5 weeks before the shooting, and you have to think about it when you're preparing your movie, because that 5 weeks I'm supposed to work on everything else too, but I'm rehearsing with my actors, so I have to do all that preparation before. So sometimes you have to pay for all the other department to be in the preparation before that. But that's you can argue with your producer for if you want those rehearsal. So for me, rehearsal is, we're doing scenes every day, but it's mostly talking. An actor has to understand the character very, very, very well in order to play it very good and for it to be very natural. So if you're not talking with your actor and giving them a lot of information about the character, they will go alone at home and do it by themselves, and they will create a character that you're not participating in the creation. So that's less interesting. You have to take the time to talk with them and say everything you can about the character. Where is he coming from? What's his emotional baggage? Why is he reacting that way? And sometimes you will discover your character when you will talk with the actors, and that's really interesting. And for me, directing is really not being in control of everything. I think it's a teamwork. And from a moment where you're choosing collaborators, you're choosing a sensibility, you're choosing a talent, you're choosing a vision. And from them, if you put trust in them, they can like explode in a really beautiful way
and bring your film higher and
and bring very interesting stuff to the characters. They have a lot of imagination. They're creators, actors. So for me, if you don't take that time, it's kind of a waste. You're wasting that talent and that imagination they have, and they can bring to your characters. So rehearsal for me is talking mostly, and we're talking about everything, and we're talking about life too. We're taking time to learn to know each other. So me and my actors and them too. So we're learning about the character and the relationship in the character, but we're learning about each other too as humans. And when you're directing actors, you're working with humans, you can know everything about the camera, about the lighting, but if you don't know about the humans you're working with, you will not be able to direct them. You will not be able to play with their emotions. So you have to know them. And when we're rehearsing with my team, we place in my schedule things like we're gonna have lunch with the actors. They're all gonna come home, and I'm gonna make them. We're gonna have a supper together, and we're gonna have fun, and maybe we're gonna go dancing at the bar, but. It's in the schedule, and we're putting that in the schedule with their agents and everything. So people know what we're doing. It's just we're taking time to know each other, and that's really important. And that chemistry between them. So that time for me is really important. If I don't have it, I don't know how to do a movie. For me, it's really the base. And when I'm in rehearsal, my objective is to my goal is to I want them to um, um, reach that moment where they know their character better than I do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I direct them in that understanding of the character, but there's a time where it expand, and they are like over me in their understanding, and that's what I want, because after we have trust in each other, and on the shooting, when we're shooting, we're creating that together. And sometimes we're shooting a scene, it's not going well, I don't know what's wrong, we talk, the actor and me, and sometimes they say, just let me do my my idea for the next la prochaine prise. Voyons, j'ai un blanc de...
La prochaine quoi?
La prochaine prise.
Take.
The next
Ouais,
take.
bon, mon Dieu, merci. You're a blanc. Bon, sometimes they say let me do what I think for the next take, and I say, okay, go, just do your thing, and they're always right, and it's always the take that I'm using when I'm editing. So I need them to be like, to understand everything in order to do that.
Comfortable, so they can
Yeah.
like explore and give you what you want, and like
Yeah.
wants and everything.
And they have to feel that I'm trusting them.
Yeah.
Because if they don't feel that, they will keep that for them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and when I'm in a rehearsal, sometimes you have like a 4-hour block of working, and you don't have to come with a 4-hour very organized and really have a lot of stuff to do. And sometimes it's just like you're there for 1 hour, you're talking about life, and don't be stressed about like
What to do, what to like.
Yeah, nobody will think you're not in control, or nobody will think that you don't know what you're doing. If you're just passing time with them, people get what you're doing when you're doing that. So they will trust you.
But rehearsal in French is, what is the translation of rehearsal in French?
Les répétitions.
Ah, ok, thanks, merci.
Fait que c'est... Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire, Émilie?
Non, je complétais ce que tu dis.
Ouais. So yeah, and next step, it's shooting the movie. When I'm on a shoot, I'm really prepared in every department. I think that's the key. The key is there. You have to be really prepared with your DOP. You know every angle you want to use in the scene, and more you're prepared, more everybody know what's in your mind, more you will be able to change everything on the shoot. So for me, when you probably already heard your teachers saying, when you're shooting, just throw the script in the garbage. I don't know if you already heard that, but it's kind of true for me. It's don't throw it in the garbage for real, but it's it has to be, I think, used as a base.
Yeah.
And after burn your script, yeah, and after be able to. Well, when you're writing a script, you're alone in a room with your computer, everything's possible, but it's not real life. But when you're shooting, now you're dealing with real life, with real humans. And I think you have to be prepared to change a lot of things. You have to spot the discomfort in a scene, in your actor playing. And if they don't like a word, if they don't like an action you're asking them to do, just talk with them. Maybe they just don't understand why you're asking them to do that kind of action, and they just need you to explain. And if they get it, it's gonna be like more fluid and natural for them. But maybe sometimes they will say,
It doesn't work or something.
it doesn't work, I don't feel it. For me, my character, if he's feeling that way, he's not gonna do that, he's gonna do that.
Yeah.
So you have to be like
Open to new possibilities.
yeah. And if you're fighting with a scene, like to be like the same way you wrote it, and it doesn't work when you're shooting it, it's not gonna be working like in 2 months when you're gonna be in the editing room. It's not gonna, don't think about like that magical things that is happening in editing. That's not real. You have to make it work right now when you're shooting, and it's not a failure. It's really not a failure to if your scene is not working as you thought when you were writing it. And I think it's more courageous to be able to spot the unnatural thing and change it for it to work. And sometimes it can be more beautiful than what you thought. That happened a lot for me. Your actor will be more free, and they will give you more, and everything will work better. So yeah, that's a big thing that I learned by doing movies, to be able to change everything. And the more you're prepared in every details, the more easy it is to switch, to change everything after. If you're not prepared in every details, it will be more like you have more the impression of you losing control. Yeah. And your crew will not think that you're not in control of everything if you change things. They will be like, they will thought, I think, the contrary. They will think that you're in the moment, that you know your thing, you know what you're talking about, everybody's prepared, everybody's ready to jump with you. And I think they will have a respect for you to be able to do all those changes. So don't see it as a failure. And yeah, and qu'est-ce que je voulais dire d'autre?
I can maybe like ask a question like do you think like giving them too much information sometimes can be bad? Like did it happen for you like on set or something? You're like, okay, I give too much information, is mixed up, she's mixed up.
No, but not for me. After, it's my way of doing it, but never for me too much information. And it's not only giving information, it's really having a discussion. So it's never just me talking. It's we're answering each other. So
connection.
Yeah, and more you have those talking, more your actor will be comfortable to ask you questions and
understand more.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't even have to spot a discomfort in their playing, because they will tell you
right away.
Right away. So no, for me it's never too much information, but the important thing in that information is to make them understand. So understand their character, their psychology, and the emotion that you want. And yeah, that's the other thing I want to say. The too much information will be I don't know, you want you see in your head your actor telling that line, and after doing a okay, you see that in your mind.
Yeah.
Don't ask him or her to do this.
Right, I think.
That's not gonna be natural. What that site, it's a site?
Yeah.
What that site is telling about his emotion, I don't know. The character, he told her like 40 times before, and she never understands. And he's tired, and you want to see that exasperation. And then your actor, maybe he will not do that side after that line, but maybe he will do something else. Maybe he, and you have to, you have to be ready. Not to have this precise thing, this precise action, but just the emotion. You have to be ready to listen to the version of your actor about this emotion and take it as it is.
You're creating a mood, in fact. Like you want to create a mood so they can express themselves with real reactions.
Yeah, and when you choose an actor, you're choosing a sensibility, you're choosing his vision, his version of those emotions. So you have to let them play it and feel it as it comes in them. And sometimes you don't have that sight after that line, and that's not important. Yeah. But you have to explain for you what that sight is. You don't say
not saying action, do that with your hand. It's like maybe you want this person to stop physically, like
just be like you talk about what he's feeling when he's supposed to put his hand like that, and maybe he will just do that, and that will be like more interesting in some way. But you have to explain what he's feeling. Never talk in action, really concrete actions.
Yeah, controlled action. Yeah. That leads me to another question. Like you spoke about all the stage of like directing actors, from the script to the shooting to even the editing at the end. Can you tell us like the other crew member that helps you to direct actors? Like who is key in your team to help you direct actor?
Well, nobody direct actors but me.
That helps you to.
That's a good question, because the thing I prefer in all the adventure of producing a movie is directing actors. It's really important for me, and I want them to be comfortable on the set. So I'm choosing crew member that loves actors.
Okay.
And I ask them about that before I choose them. So sometimes, and you'll see on different shootings, sometimes people think that actors are babies, or I don't know. You have some prejudice against actors on some.
So judgmental.
Yeah, and those people, I don't want them on my shoot, because and I want people who are sensitive to actors and what they can bring to a movie. So and that's how I choose my editor too. That's really important. I want people who mostly are sensitive to those emotions, who don't just want to tell a story
make
in a technical way that I don't care. So like my DOP, my director of photography, he's not like that guy who will come and say we can shoot like that and everything. He's really calm, and he loves actors. He's really sensitive to them. We always do a handheld for me, and he's really like he lived the scene with them. Like sometimes he can like cry when actors are playing a scene. Sometimes he can be like that with the camera, and we're playing a scene and we're shooting, and he laughs ha 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 like that, and we cut and we say, Mathieu, you laugh, and he's like, oh, I don't even.
Yeah, he's so like into it that like.
Yeah, and that's what I want. I don't care cutting for him because he laughed, because I prefer someone who's really into the scene, into the emotion. And my actors are really, we do the lights for them to be really they can move in the room.
Okay,
They don't have to be someplace. Yeah, they don't have X on the floor, and they don't have to be someplace just to be in the lighting. It's really important for me for them to be free. And so sometimes the lighting is less beautiful, but I don't care. I'm working with emotion most than working with lights. So and yeah, so sometimes they will improvise some things, my actors, and they are really free to do it. And it's really impressive because my DOP, sometimes it's like he know what the actor will improvise, and he start already the move with them. It's really impressive. So for me, I choose my crew member
like that.
And makeup, hair, and costumes, they are your actor refuge.
But like
they go to makeup sometimes to
have confidence, like
shelter. Yeah, thank you. yeah. Sometimes it's their shelter, this place. So choose your makeup and hair dresser wisely, and human people really, that can be like sometimes like
reassuring, like nurturing.
Yeah, and they're really good. They know that they have to be they have to keep what the actors are telling them like secrets. So, well, I choose my CCM, we say in French, my CCM en anglais aussi ça marche. Very wisely, and they start their day with them. Huh? They arrive, they pass some time, like 1 or 2 hours with makeup and hairdresser. So it's important for me that they have a good start in the day with them. And I choose people who are really funny sometimes for them. And I like it because when I come on when I arrive in the morning, I can hear my actors laughing and having fun. And I think it's a good way to start working. So yeah, that's it. And people, like, the sound, they're putting microphone, they have to be sensitive people who can feel like your actor are putting themselves in an emotional state, that they're not coming and like having fun with them and putting their hands in their costume, and that's really important for me.
And also like you second AD is like kind of important because
that's right.
Managing like their schedule and like with who they interact and like okay.
Yeah, and but people know that actors are giving a lot, and people want them to be really comfortable because sometimes they put themselves in emotional state that are impossible. Like sometimes they cry all day. It's you have people know that on a shooting, that and people really sometimes want them to be comfortable. So yeah, the second AD is really important in that for that goal. Yeah,
it's really interesting what you said, because I think like everything you said can also work with documentary, like when you have a subject, like for those people in you that doing more documentary subject, like to make rehearsal with people so they feel comfortable, so to have like more interesting discussion. So everything you've said, Sophie, is really like when you're working with humans, not just actors, but working with humans.
And if you're working with non-actors, because I did that too, the important things for me was to tell them everything about a shooting, because it works in a very specific way, a shooting, and there's hiérarchie dans
Hierarchy, like, you know,
yeah,
that you speak to someone if you want that, you speak to this one, like,
yeah.
you know, like the ecosystem of how it works, so they feel comfortable.
Yeah, so more you prepare them to the shooting, more they will be like less stressed they will be.
Yeah.
And it's important for them to understand that they can't be late and things like that. That for us is really like basic, but for them, because I had this problem one time with a non-actor who I was like, you're gonna be stuck in traffic coming here. And when she came, she was like 30 minutes late, and she was like, I was in traffic, but I said, you can't be stuck in traffic in cinema. You have to prepare yourself in some other way. They have to understand. They have to. Sometimes it's good way to make them understand by using money. Like a day is costing the production that amount. So imagine.
Yeah.
If you're 30 minutes late, we're losing that amount of money, and sometimes it's a lot. So sometimes they understand better. So
and also, can you speak about like how you cast and how you work with non-actors, like more at the beginning, like why you want to use non-actor, in what case, and how you work and how you find them?
I work with only non-actors on a short film I made. Was called L'hiver et la violence, and I wanted like real. It was like false documentary fiction.
Yeah, docu-fiction.
Comment?
Docu-fiction.
Yeah. And so I wanted like real people who were doing snowboard. So I was looking for real snowboarders, and we put that on Facebook and the internet. And when you're doing that, you have to be ready to put a lot of times to get those messages. I put them in Excel.
Okay, yeah.
Respond to everyone. And that's a thing. When I'm a little bit out of subject, but I want to say one thing. When actors come to casting for you, they prepare at home. They want that part, and they take time to prepare, to read your stuff, to see your movies you did before, and if they came in the room and you already know they're not the person for you, give them time and work with them for that, like the 30 minutes you have with them, because it's really like they're putting a lot of work. I think they deserve like the 30 minutes you can give them back. And it's your problem if you want to see a lot of person. I want to see a lot of person, and it's my problem after to deal with the fact that maybe I passed like a day to see people that just doesn't work at all with my movie. But I always give them the time that I ask them to prepare for. And I see it as a good exercise.
Yeah.
For me to sharp my tool,
Yeah, but also it can be like interesting for next films or next project. Like you can never stop thinking about new like actors and how to work. So it's interesting to see them. Maybe it's not for that project, but you may be thinking about them for another project.
And we don't have a lot of opportunity to practice directing. So for me, casting is the moment where I practice that too. With people that I know that aren't working for the movie, I practice and they play and they're happy, so everybody's winning. But in a way, so that was a thing that I wanted to say, because my producer for my first feature, he was very, very tired of all those days of casting we were doing, and at one point he was like, you knew he was not good for the part. Why did you take like 40 minutes to, I said, he came, he prepared.
It's his work, like, yeah.
It's respect. So after I told him that, he was like, okay, take all the time you need with everybody.
Yeah. Pretty important. It's respect, and it's like the craft. Yeah.
So casting with non-actors, I put that on Facebook, on everywhere, and then you're gonna receive a lot of things. And ask precise thing for your first, when you put like a casting call for non-actors, put a lot of information, because you don't want to have to get like answers, all random things. So ask them for their name and everything, phone number, like 2 pictures, give them information of what kind of pictures you want of them. Like for my first movie, the 2 brothers, they have a really specific dynamic between them. Sometimes in rehearsal, we were just going and walk in the street, but as their character.
Okay.
And I was around and sometimes saying things in their ears and saying just like, do that. And the other was responding to that action. And sometimes we were out like 30 minutes, an hour, and they were interacting. We were entering in like shops. We were on a very busy road with a lot of person walking, and they were interacting with them, but as their characters. And I was around like that. And after the hour of improv we did outside, I told them, okay, I think that your character would more interact like that than what you did because of that reason. And the actors were learning about their character. For me, the improv is more learning about your character, and after more they know about the character on the shoot, they're and they know that I'm trusting them. So on the shoot they sometimes improvise, but it comes like naturally because of the dynamic that we have created, and all the preparation we did before. But I don't ask them to improv in casting, just because for me it's not like it's jumping over steps, and it's not comfortable for them. But it can happen that you see that it's like going well, and do you want to try something else? But you have I want them really, I want to feel that they are comfortable with it.
You want to improv when you know it's the right person for you.
Yeah. That's really a question of comfort for them. In audition, it's my priority.
Okay. Okay, so we'll open question to everyone, guys. So is someone having a question?
I have one.
Maxime?
Yes. Can I ask my question in French?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Just, or I can, si quelqu'un peut traduire après. Yeah, merci. Si, admettons, un acteur a beaucoup de difficultés dans une journée parce qu'il va pas bien, ou je sais pas, il s'est passé quelque chose, puis on voit qu'il acte pas comme normalement comme d'habitude, en fait. Comment vous faites, parce que ça coûte cher comme une journée de tournage, fait que vous êtes, comme j'imagine, obligé de tourner, comment vous réagissez à ces moments-là?
So I will translate. So he's asking, like, when an actor is not feeling good, like, how you manage to shoot, because shooting is so pricey, like how you manage to get what you want from the actor even if he's not feeling well.
Yeah. So if you're working with professional actors, it's kind of their jobs to be able to canaliser leur énergie, like to work with their energy of the day. And sometimes you will not know that they're not really feeling well. They will not say that to you because they're not supposed to be, like, because they're professionals. and it's their jobs to sometimes they have a big day, like of emotion, or in a scene they're moving a lot, and after lunch they have to do like another 6 hours. It's their jobs to sleep enough, to eat well for that kind of action they have to do. Some go to the gym before shooting in order to be prepared for the kind of action they're gonna do in the movie. You can ask them, you can talk to them about that. Tomorrow it's gonna be a big day. Don't forget, if they're young sometimes, or they don't have a lot of experience in but a professional who has a lot of experience will know what he has to do in order to be in a good mood. After, if they're experiencing something at home that are, I don't know, difficult, you have to shoot your day, and you have to just be like talking to them and showing that you're present for them, but always reminding them that we're having this day to do, and there's no other way. So it's always like, making a movie is fun and stuff, but it's our job too. And if you're doing a film with a professional crew, and people get that in their head, so but be sensitive to it. Maybe sometimes you can say we're gonna take a little break, but you don't have sometimes the time for that. So just remind the person that you know what they're feeling, you know it's hard, but let's continue. We're stronger than that. Nah. I don't know. It's just and if you're nice to them, they will feel more
understand.
Yeah.
I saw that Olivier also has a question.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for being here. I was wondering, like you said, you repeat a lot with the actors. I was wondering, when do you find like the limit? Because I feel like sometimes it can become mechanical. Where do you know like when to stop so it doesn't genre couler la scène dans le béton là? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the important for me in rehearsal, that's a good question, because the important for me in rehearsal is mostly to talk about the film and the characters and the relationship between the characters. So sometimes we do rehearsal and we start like 5 weeks before the shoot. So sometimes our first day, what we did in rehearsal is not good for the shooting, but that's not important, because the real work is all the discussions that we have. So sometimes the actors get that, and they don't get stuck, like you said, in the
like it's not final.
It don't get final for them. They know that it's a process. Mm-hmm. So and they know that everything we're doing will maybe not be good tomorrow, because of all the construction we're doing in all those weeks. So don't be afraid, I think, to do the scenes, but as I said, be prepared to change everything. So sometimes in rehearsal, you will do the scene maybe 10 times, and it will not be the same as what's written in your script. It will not be the same as what you as your first take. And if you can, sometimes I take a lot of notes when we're rehearsing, and I change my script for the crew afterwards. And so the scene is always moving. It's not like from the day one of rehearsal, it's not the same from at the end of the shooting. So it's a process. I see it as a process, and nothing is coulé dans le béton, as you said. And the most important moment where we really like the scene is gonna be like that is la mise en place. I don't remember the term in English, but you know, when the crew is ready to shoot the scene and we're
the lock scene, like when you're locking.
Blocking. Yeah, thank you. I forgot every term. Thank you, Laura. So yeah, the blocking. And that's where everything's get more like final. So, and that I take a lot of times. And again, for some producer, it's really like difficult to see because the crew is coming, people are preparing the room, and then sometimes I take like 40 minutes alone with my actor in the decor, in the room, and all the crew is waiting outside. And they're paid for waiting, but we're doing all the mise en scène, and there we're trying stuff, and then the scene is final, but sometimes it doesn't look like what we rehearsed like 3 weeks before, because the process bring us somewhere else to that day. So I don't know what to say, but I know that sometimes it can feel like it, but your actors, they know too, if you're working with professional, when you're doing the blocking, they will not give everything, and because they're keeping it for the real shooting. And don't forget that when we're shooting, then when we're pushing the button on the camera, something special happen for the actors always. So you're not gonna get the scene as you rehearse it, as you block it, because they're like this little magic happening when the camera is and I think that you have to trust your actors. If they're professional, they know what they're doing when they rehearse, when they're blocking, they know how to keep things for the moment we're shooting. And for me, I never rehearse too much. Never too much information, never too much rehearsing. But after, it's like you have to try stuff, and sometimes it will not work, and that's all right, because making movies is learning.
As the process.
Yeah, and you're gonna learn things about directing actors for the rest of your life.
Thank you. Other questions?
Alison, I think.
Oh, you answered.
Okay.
You answered that sort of exactly, because I come from documentaries, and I made my first dramatic short, and I didn't know how much time I should actually spend with the actors before, you know, doing the first take. So you answered the question beautifully, you know.
And that time that you're taking is for some people you will be seen as a waste of time, but it is not. And the more you take the good time with the actors before everybody came in and do their stuff, the more you will have a great scene, and everybody will be prepared, and yeah, it's not a waste of time.
Next question, Andres, I think.
Yeah, I have a little question. You said you spent 5 weeks in rehearsals, more or less, but how much time do you spend actually shooting the movie?
Yeah, so that depends on the budget of the movie sometimes, but I have a really great producer, and I have a lot of days for a little budget for a feature film in Quebec. I shot like, I think something like 28 days for my first feature and 33 for my second, which is a lot for a little budget movies. So I'm grateful for that. That's my producer who gave that to me, and for my first feature, it was more easy to shoot than my second one, who was filmed underground. That was a complex. But my first feature was really easy to shoot, and after those 5 weeks rehearsal, a long time using and blocking, we were finishing every day before time, like en avance.
Yeah, like earlier.
Earlier every day. So everybody was happy, and the scene were perfect for me. So all that time saved us a lot of, all that work before saved us a lot of time when we're shooting. So yeah. But you will not be able to have that come a lot of days of shooting with the budget that we have here. So sometimes you have to rush. Yeah, it's hard to believe in your head that all the time you take with the actors before shooting is not a waste of time, because and people will push you, and you have to find that good, yeah.
Cool. One last question. Kennedy, or we go with Samuel after, but Kennedy.
I have time, we can do it.
Another thing after, so like.
Oh, I know, right?
So Kennedy and after Samuel.
Okay.
Hi, Sophie. I was just wondering, and I guess this is more of like a philosophical question, but how do you deal with like self-confidence or just like self-doubt when you're on set? Because, you know, I'm sure, you know, a lot of us are, you know, young directors and just like starting out, and I think we're just like always like second guessing our decisions, or just, you know, what to tell the actor, and just I think that can, you know, really like take a toll, you know, when you're on set. So I was just wondering how you like deal with that.
Yeah, that's a very good question. At first I was like shy to direct actors because you don't know what you're saying, if that's intelligent or, but I just
making sense or not.
Yeah, but I think I just, at first when I start, I was confident in my method, and I just said like, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna look like crazy if I say some stuff, and people will think about me, and that's all right. And I have to try, because if I don't, I will never see if it works. And that's good for every department I'm working with. So at first I did like a lot of short movies and short films, and I try stuff, and I know sometimes it's really it's really hard to not think about like the 20 person behind you who are listening to what you're saying, but you just have to don't mind, and because if you don't try, you will never get confident in your method, so I don't know.
But you seem to be well prepared before
Yeah.
shooting. Maybe that helps to eliminate some self-doubt, because you're so well prepared before that, like when you arrive on set, okay, I'm trying this at least.
Yeah. And you can talk to your actors and be like very close to them, and it's only you and the actors who hear you, and you can be like in your little bubble with them. But in rehearsal too, it's more easy, because if you have to talk you have to talk to your actor, just you don't have like 20 person who's looking at you when you're doing it. I don't know if that's your question, but
maybe how you manage self-doubt on set when it happens to you.
I'm trying. I don't know. And I understand that it's okay as a director to say I don't know, to say I'm not sure, to say there's something that's not working. Somebody can, do you have ideas? And I put a lot of trust in my collaborators, And there's a lot of things that my collaborators are doing that I don't know how to do. So I have to trust them. And I always say that directing, you do nothing, you just talk to people. So my film, it's not me that doing my film, it's everyone around. I'm just talking to them. So if you trust them, they will sometimes bring you back like where you should be. And it's not their first film. Sometimes it's not their, and they have tools, and that's another thing. Sometimes I realize that I don't have a lot of experience of shooting because I'm a director and I'm directing like one time every 3 years, 2 years. So they all have like a lot more experience than me. And if you're communicating well with them and they know what you want to do, they will help you to get there. And so sometimes I talk to my collaborators and I'm telling them, I don't know how to do that thing. I'm not sure about that stuff. And you're gonna have those discussions with them, and you're gonna put your trust in them, and they will give you back that respect and that trust too. So it's really like a teamwork. And when you see it like that, it's less stressful, because you're not supposed to come on a shoot like and being that solid rock who knows everything and who's in control of everything. You can say sometimes I don't know, and that's all right, and that's human. And people like it because you show your vulnerability, and as an artist it's normal, and you have to get yourself in vulnerable situations sometimes, because that's what making the film beautiful afterwards, I think. So yeah, you have to be confident in your vision, but you're not control. A shoot is like kind of chaos in some way, because everything can happen and you have to be ready to overcome obstacles. And so I think that be ready to say I don't know sometime. You will be less stressed, and you will be less you will have
it's less pressure on your shoulder.
Yeah. That's it. I don't know if that's the kind of answer you wanted, Kennedy, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, sorry. I mean, I know. I guess we're like running out of time, but I guess it's just
right.
like I don't know, like if you've seen the movie like 8½, like just that kind of like when you're on set and you just don't know what you're doing, and it just like affects everything. Like I don't know, like that's happened to me, I guess recently, and it just shook me. I don't know if, but like your answer definitely helped. Just to be like more like use your crew and like like don't be afraid to say like I don't know that for sure. And help you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Kennedy. We'll go with Samuel.
Yes, I was wondering if all the experience that you have and the knowledge that you have on directing actors comes exclusively from experience, or maybe that you have like books or I don't know, anything that prepared you earlier to have all that knowledge.
Well, not really books. I had a class. I was going to Concordia University. I don't know if someone is and I got that class with Micheline Langto. I don't know if she's there. So I learned a lot from her in that class.
What was it?
Directing actors.
Okay.
She were giving directing actors in Concordia, and Micheline is an actor too. So she has like this interesting vision about that. And that was my first really like interesting learning about that. And I didn't know when I was in her class that I was learning all that stuff. It's after when I was directing on my movies that I remember like all these links I was doing after that class. It's you're working with emotions and with humans, so it's not technical, so it's hard. But the other thing I did was taking acting class too. By myself. It was really challenging, but I did. And
well, are you an actress now?
I'm not. I'm the worst, but
understand the process.
Yeah, and I came to that class and I said, I'm a director and I want to know what it is to act. And the person take me right away in the class, and it was a class we were supposed to do like a casting to get in. But when I came with that démarche, that idea, she said she took me right away, and yeah. So that's I think a good idea to learn about directing, because, and maybe I will do that again. I want to learn more about that, or just go and sit in the class and just see what they're learning, because they have this tool that they learn sometime like 4 years, and we as director we don't even know really what are those tools. And if you know, you can work
with these
more with them. So that's a thing. And after it was like trying things. So with I did a lot of shorts, and you know, things like Kino. Do you know what it is in Montreal? I don't know if you have this. It's kind of like a week of people who want to do films that goes together, and they make a film out of nowhere. And sometimes it's not great films, but
practice, in fact. And like for people that don't know Kino, it's like we have these like cells around the world, and people are just filming like in 48 hours a short film, and you have access to materials and video cameras and everything. But also at the end, sometimes you cannot use your film because you don't have like the music rights and everything. But it's more like a activity or a process, and there's like Kino clubs around the world.
Yeah, and that's yeah, and in festivals, sometimes festival where you will be after the pandemic be able to go try to do those stuff, because it's for me, I don't learn about doing films at school really. I learned it when I was doing films.
Mm-hmm.
That's really my best school, was doing it. And yeah, so actors, you have to be in contact with them to learn about directing, I think. So try it and give you opportunities to work with them and try stuff. And it's all right to try stuff that are crazy or that doesn't work, but give you the chance to do it.
Mm. Do you have an end word, something before we close the Zoom conference, Sophie?
How can we keep in touch? Facebook, or
Marielle can give Sophie's email to people that wants to.
Yeah, sure. And that's my pleasure if you have questions.
So do you have like some things you want to add, Sophie? We'll finish here. No?
I think I said it all.
So thank you so much for taking this time to share your practice with us and like to answer all of these questions. So thank you so much for being here with us this morning. And guys, have a nice day. We'll see each other for the Q&A at 1 p.m. And also, Maxime, because you weren't there yesterday, we'll do your Q&A today, so be prepared to answer some questions. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So and also we have at the closing Zoom this afternoon, Stéphane Cardin will be there from Netflix. So he will like say a little word, and see if you have some question, he will answer some. So like that's our day today, and tonight at 8 p.m. we will know the winner of the RPCÉ. So have a nice day, guys.
Merci tout le monde. It was really a pleasure to talk to you this morning, and good luck with everything.
Thanks for sharing your experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Merci.
This was excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.